Okay, so there's this one Pokemon that you might have seen and you're probably like, oh my goodness, how do I get one of those? I must have one. What's that Pokemon I'm talking about? Can you take a guess? No, not Arceus. It's a Garchomp. That big land shark thing that looks like it's gonna take a bite out of anything that tries to fight it. Okay, so how do you find a Garchomp? Well, you gotta start from the bottom up. You gotta start from its basic form, a Gible. Well, okay, now where do I find a Gible? That's what you're probably asking me now, right? Well, first of all, you need to make sure that you can use strength outside of battle. If you can't get one just yet unless you trade for it. So, what you need to do is fly to Orberg City, making sure you have a Pokemon with strength in your party, and cut too, because you need to go under the cycling road. That's really important. Now I'm gonna put on a repel really quick, just so I don't run into anything, because I don't want to run into anything when trying to find this Gible. So ride your bike or walk or however you want to get there. Just get to cycling road, like right down here, and the underpass of it. You know. Okay, so you see this cave here, right? Now this is probably the one you've been in, you know, that's really bad on my camera, and you can't see anything in there, and you need flash in order to get around. Well, that's not the place. Nope, if you looked around in there, you're doing it wrong. Okay, see here? Press up against the rocks. One of those, or against the wall, one of those is actually a path leading into a secret cave inside of the Wayward Cave. It's like a whole new area that really hates my camera. Okay, now I think we're in a little less hostile ground. So I'm actually, if you're gonna catch Gible, you gotta make sure you have something that can fight for it, because it's actually like kind of low level and really hard to catch, surprisingly. Well, not really surprisingly, but it's probably a little harder to catch than just with a quick ball alone. So you might need to weaken it or put it to sleep or something before trying to catch it. Now, down here, you'll find a lot of Bronzor, a lot of Zubats, a lot of Geodudes, and then the occasional Gible if you're lucky. You'll also find a lot of bike ramps and paths and stuff. You can get through them, but if you're really serious about trying to get through them, I highly recommend you use a repel. Because remember, the Pokemon that the wild Pokemon that you fight, they will not stop if you're trying to jump those ramps. And then it like completely disrupts the whole thing. Let's see, you can bounce over all the ramps to get an elixir or whatever the heck I just got. I wasn't paying attention. And then jump down that little platform there. Switch to the tech bike, or the one that the not as fast one that I don't know why you'd use. And that gets you across just one space. There you are! There's Gible, right there. See that land shark thing? Don't you want one? Don't you really, really want one? Well, you might not want that little guy just yet, but I tell you, that Garchomp, everybody wants Garchomp. Okay, so if you try to toss a quick ball at it, you might notice, oh no, the Pokemon broke free. This thing's kind of hard to catch. It didn't even shake or anything. Well, hopefully that's a good sign, right? Now, I'm going to try another quick ball at it, just to show you that it actually takes a bit of work. Boom! It's not going to get caught. How annoying. Now, it actually has a lot of other annoying attacks, too. It has Dragon Rage right off the bat, which can hit your Pokemon for 40 damage, which, you know, later on isn't a lot, but right now it kind of hurts when you're trying to catch the thing. It can also brew up a Sandstorm and hit you with Takedown. Takedown's really annoying, and you need to keep that in mind, because if it uses Takedown, it'll damage itself in the recoil damage. So if you have it with just like a sliver of a hit point left, you might knock it out, or it might knock itself out. How annoying, right? So I'm going to switch over to my HM slave here, and really, really, really be angry at myself for getting a critical hit and knocking the thing out. Should have used false swipe or something, right? Oh well. I'll get over it, right? So it might happen. It might take you a few Gibles before you find one and can actually catch it. And don't stress over if you accidentally knock out your first Gible, because there might be more somewhere. while exploring the place, you can go around on those bike ramps and stuff and try to make your way around. There's a TM Earthquake at the very end of the thing, which is really good TM. I mean, like, really good. Because Earthquake is a good move. Also, right here, there's a Grip Claw, which makes it so those weird moves like Fire Spin and Wrap, they last longer or something like that. Again, probably no real use unless you're planning on, I don't know, using a Pokemon that, like, wraps your... I mean, do you want to take, like, 8 turns hitting for, like, no damage? If you're doing that, you're probably not playing the game right, to be perfectly honest. At least in-game. I mean, it's not like the trainers really switch that often or anything, so they'll take a little bit of damage between turns, but come on, 8 turns? You don't need to wait that long to use that Grip Claw, do you? No. No. Where the heck is another Gible? Let's see. When jumping that one, you might want to stop if you can. And, Gible, there you are! Ha-ha! I found you. Okay, so, round 2 against Gible. Let's see what you got, huh? I'm gonna try the, Quick Ball, because, you know, in the first few turns, it's most efficient. Not gonna let me this time. Shucks. Sand Attack. That's also a pretty annoying attack, I gotta tell you. That's another thing it has in its arsenal, because then, you know, when you're trying to weaken it and all, you might not hit it that much. Now, I guess my strategy is, try toss 2 Quick Balls at it to see if I can catch it with just those. If it doesn't work, switch over to, a weaker Pokemon, or preferably a Pokemon with False Swipe, or Hypnosis, or something to put it to sleep. Be very wary about False Swipe, though. Remember that, because it can use Takedown. If it uses Takedown, it doesn't matter if it only has 1 hit point left. If it's, like, just about to get caught, it will knock itself out. And then you will cry. And then you will wish that you didn't use False Swipe. So you're almost better off just trying to use, like, a level 20 or something like this, and hit it with Cut. And see there, that didn't do too much. Now, that wasn't a critical hit. I can probably hit it once more, although it's going to be a bit risky, I gotta say. So I'm going to use Rock Smash, or at least try, because it has a bit less power. But, unfortunately, this thing's really hitting me pretty hard. A lot harder than I thought it would. It's putting up a decent fight, and that Sand Attack is really hurting. Plus, also keep in mind, it has Sand Veil, which means if there's a sandstorm going, its evasion rises even more. So between that and Sand Attack, it gets very hard to actually hit the thing if you're trying to weaken it enough to catch it, and you know, you don't have very good tactics like I do. These are certainly some pretty bad tactics, to be perfectly honest, but hey, it's what I got. I don't really go around catching Pokemon too often on Diamond here. Okay, so it took my HM Slave out. What a pain! So, but fortunately, it did its job. It weakened Gible. This should be enough to catch it. So I'm going to send out Gojira here, because it's part Rock type. I mean, it is Rock type, and it's not going to get affected by Sandstorm. So I can just take my time. Now, if you have Dusk Balls, use them, because remember, you're in a cave, so it's dark, and that means it has like a 4x capture rate, 4 times the rate of Pokeballs. So it made it look easy there. And that's Gible. That's the little thing that evolves into that monster Garchomp that everyone must have. Okay, so while I'm down here, let's I'm gonna show you how to get through the rest of it. Remember, use a Repel, preferably the best one you've got. I'm gonna use a Max Repel here because that's pretty handy. Now let's pick up that Revive in case you really want it. And unfortunately, you gotta jump back now. So jump, jump, and then you'll stop right here. Now this one here, it's pretty tricky to do. You gotta kind of hit it at just the right angle. You see, you gotta turn at the right spot without losing the momentum. And this is very hard to do with, like, one hand with, like, not even holding the DS in your hands while recording with the camera, so yeah, trust me. Anyway, you can't see it here, but I'll tell you, you get TM26 Earthquake up this little piece of cave just waiting there at the very end. And now you have Earthquake and a Gible. How awesome is that? And in case you didn't know, Gible evolves into Gabite at level 24, and then Gabite evolves into Garchomp at level 48. And as always, you can see all their data information at my site, Pokemon.Marriland.com.